Greetings, everybody. This is Wakia, aka Thunder, with the Campfire Council. Haven't done a video in a while, so I figured I'd do one. I think I've done one in the new year. I might start doing more, depending on donations. Kind of goes hand in hand here, people. I'll probably do more. I've got a lot of subscribers, and I see some other people and they do a lot of videos, and their subscribership flourishes, and they get donations. So I might start doing a few more videos. But the donations are appreciated. I'm going to do I think I'd do a video today on the I-Ching, or the I-Ching as some people call it. It's not really I-Ching, although it's spelled with an I. I space C-H-I-N-G. I-Ching or I-Ching. The correct pronunciation is I-Ching. And the I-Ching is an ancient oracle, or a means for divining the future, or finding out about what's happening with yourself. Consulting the oracle, consulting the sage, as it is called in Taoist tradition. And this particular oracle, or the I-Ching, is a book that is thousands and thousands of years old. It comes from China. And you consult it in a certain manner that involves synchronicity. Now, there's been many great people in history that have consulted the I-Ching, and there are many notable people that admire and have benefited by and have given commentary on the I-Ching. And one of these notables is Carl Jung, the great philosopher, psychologist. There were two great psychologists, Freud and Jung. Jung, J-U-N-G, and Freud, but Jung was the one that did a commentary on the I-Ching and gave it a lot of its credibility in modern times because of his backing for it. Also, someone else that did commentary on the I-Ching is Confucius. And Confucius spoke on the I-Ching, and one of the things that he said was, if I had 50 more years left in my life, I would devote it all to the I-Ching, or studying the I-Ching, or consulting and studying the I-Ching. So we're talking about an oracle here that is consulted with either yarrow stalks or coins. So today I'm going to teach the 3-coin method of consulting the I-Ching, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about it so that you can make this a part of your life. Again, it's based on synchronicity. So let's start off with the fact that if you want to consult the I-Ching, you have to build what is called a hexagram. And this hexagram is composed of 6 lines, or 2 trigrams, one on top of the other. And the 6 lines are either broken lines if they're yin, or solid lines if they're yang. Okay, and I'm gonna give a quick example here. I'm going to show you if it shows up here. I hope it shows up on the monitor here. But you can see there an example of a hexagram. This one happens to be mostly yin lines with a yang line going across 3 lines up from the bottom. okay? That is what is called a hexagram. Now, these hexagrams are built by throwing coins. I'm going to teach the 3-coin method today. So the 3-coin method is you get 3 coins. I happen to have some right here. Now I have what they call I-Ching coins, which are Chinese coins, which have a hole in the middle. It's not showing up too good, but they're old and ancient and all that good stuff. And I have 3 of them. But for practical purposes, you can use a quarter. This is a quarter here. And what you do is, if you want to consult the I-Ching, this is how you do it. First of all, you'll have to get a book on the I-Ching, and I recommend this one of these 2 translations, either this one, the I-Ching by Wu Wei, okay, the Book of Changes, and on the front you can see it has a picture of all the a bunch of different trigrams, which when put together one on top of the other again form a hexagram. Here's another great book, one that I highly recommend, the I-Ching or Book of Changes by Brian Brown Walker. Brian Brown Walker. And you'll need one of those 2 books because it has all the hexagrams in it and what they mean. So when you create a hexagram by throwing the coins, you can look in there, you can look it up, and it'll tell you what it means. If you miss anything, you can always rewind this video and go back and review it. Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to use 3 coins here. And I'm going to use a quarter as one, for the 3 coins. In other words, 3 quarters. And now I'm going to explain to you how you use these to consult the I-Ching. So a quarter has a head and a tail, as we know. And what you do is you assign a 3, the number 3, to the head and a number 2 to the tail of the coin. And what you do is you take 3 coins and you shake them up in your hands and you throw them down on a smooth surface that is maybe like a blanket or something. You don't want it rolling down the hallway or any of that good shit. You want to just you want it so that when you throw the coins, they land, they bounce, and you get a reading off the coins. Now, how you get a reading off the coins is adding up the numbers. So if heads are 3, okay, and you get 2 heads, and tails are 2, and you get 1 tail, then you get 8. That adds up to 8. Now, the only possible combinations you can get are 9, 7, 6, and 8. 9, 7, 6, and 8. So 9 is 9s and 7s are uneven, okay, or odd, okay. They're not even. 9s and 7s. So that would be one straight line, okay, one straight line. If you get a 6 or an 8, as you throw the coins and add them up, and let's say you get an 8. Let's say you get 2 heads and 1 tail, and you get an 8, and that would be 2 dashed lines, okay? 2 dashed lines, or a yin line, or a broken line. So what you want to do is you want to build a hexagram, which is 6 lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, starting from the bottom. So when you throw the coins, your first line is starting from the bottom. Now there's one other thing here that's very important. And that is that there are changing lines. And changing lines, as you build a hexagram, only come about if you get 3 coins, if you throw the coins and you get 3 of a kind. In other words, if you throw 3 heads, you get a 9. So a 9 would be a changing line. If you throw 3 tails, you get a 6. So a 6 would be a changing line. Well, what does that mean? Well, a 6 is a yin line, like I said before, because it's even, two dashes, right? Or with a space in the middle. You would, when you build this first hexagram, if you have any changing lines in there, like a 9 or a 6, the 9 being a solid line would change. You would build another hexagram right next to it with all the lines being the same except for the 9 and the 6. The 6 is a yin line, so you would, when you build your new hexagram next to it, the 6 would be a straight line or an unbroken line or a solid line. And the 9 being a solid line, in your next hexagram that you build right next to it, you would, the 9 being a solid line, would be a broken line in the new hexagram. Okay, so I know some of you are getting confused at this point. So let's review it here. You got 3 coins and you have the combinations possible are 9, 7, 6, and 8. 9s and 6s are changing lines. If you throw 3 of any heads or 3 tails, those will be automatically changing lines. And again, what does that mean? Well, your first hexagram that you're building, yes, you put what it's worth, but on the changing lines, you're going to build another hexagram that's going to be just like all the other lines, except if you have changing lines, and then they'll be the opposite in the new hexagram. So what does that mean? It means when you throw the I-Ching, it means that the first hexagram, when you read what it means in the book, when you look it up and find the first hexagram, and there's 64 possible different hexagrams that you can get, and that's it. That's all you can get is one of 64, and whatever it's changing to. So that means that when you throw the coins and you build a hexagram and you throw them 6 times, okay, you throw them and then, okay, I got a 6, so you put a broken line. And you throw them again, you say, okay, I got a 7, that's a solid line. And you throw them again, you got a 9, that's a solid line, but that's a changing line. Remember, 9, uneven, 3 of a kind, and then you know, so on and so forth until you build 6 lines. Okay, you throw the coins 6 times. Now, when you get done throwing the coins, you look at the hexagram you built. You look and see if there's any changing lines like 9s and 6s. And you build a hexagram right next to it of all those lines, except the 9 and the 6 you change to the opposite. So a 9 solid line would be changed to a broken line. I hope you get the drift here. So then what do? Well, you got your hexagram that you build over here, hexagram, 6 lines, and you got another one. And you always build a hexagram from the bottom up to the top. So what do you do now that you built your hexagram and you've got your changing lines and you built your new hexagram next to it? Well, you consult the I-Ching. That's what you do. And in order to do that, you have to look in the book, okay? And you have to look in one of these books that I said before. And the first thing that you have to do is to go to this chart here. And you see on the top you have trigrams, okay? The top 3 lines, that would be in your hexagram. And on the side, you have the bottom 3 lines. So you find the top 3 lines that you built in your hexagram and go to the side and find the bottom and connect them in the middle with the chart, and you come up with a hexagram. So let's say we come up with hexagram, let's say we get all, well, let's just take any hexagram. Let's say we came up with a hexagram number 40. That's what the hexagram would look like. Number 40 is called deliverance. So you see you got two, the top trigram is 2 broken lines and a solid line, and then the bottom is a broken line, a solid line, and a broken line. Okay, that's what you got when you threw the coins and made lines from the bottom on up to the top, okay? And so I just happened to open up to this hexagram, which says deliverance, okay? And under deliverance, it says a change in attitudes delivers you from difficulties. And then it gives commentary on it. Now, if you got a changing line in there, like I said before, where a 9's changing or a 6 is changing, then you have a section here that is your changing lines, okay? And that's right here on the left of the screen. You can't really see it, but it says first line, second line, third line. And then it gives you direct commentary or instructions or advice as to what you should do in whatever situation you were consulting the I-Ching about. So let's review this a little bit here so that you can use the I-Ching in your personal life. You get 3 coins, you throw the first coin, you do your first throw and you look at the coins, and let's say you get 2 heads and a tail. Well, that's 8. Then you throw the coins again, so you make a broken line, which is 2 dashes, okay? You make a broken line, 8, okay? And then you throw the coins again, and you get a head and 2 tails. Well, that would be 7, okay? 3 and 2 is 5, and 2 is 7, okay? So that would be a solid line, remember? Just remember that solid lines are always yang and broken lines are always yin. It's the yin-yang of the universe, baby. So you continue on, and this method is starting from the bottom, throwing the coins each time, looking at the number. Now what I do is as I throw the coins, I write the number down. I got a 6 at the bottom, a 7 is number 2, a 9 is number 3, a 6 is number 4, another 7 is number 5, another 6 is number 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you've thrown the coin 6 times and got 6 different numbers. And then next to the numbers, I go through and go, oh, that's a 6. Well, that's a broken. A 7, solid. A 9, whatever I threw, a 9 would be a solid. Oops, that's a changing line, because it took 3 heads, 3 of a kind, to make the 9. Then I go up here and I go, oh, I got a 6 in there. That's a changing line because it took 3 tails. I know I'm being repetitive here, but what seems complex isn't so complex. So that's how you throw the I-Ching. And it's an ancient oracle, and it's spot on, and it's based on synchronicity. In other words, when you're throwing the coins, it picks up on the vibration of your life that's happening just at that particular time, in the question in your head. You can either just throw them and see what it says, or you can formulate a specific question like, when will this situation that I'm in end, or when will things get better for me, or it might comment on the world, it might comment on your particular situation. Whatever you throw, you have to have an open mind, because the I-Ching not only will comment on what's happening in your life, but it might comment on what's happening in the world, or it might not comment on the question you asked it. It might comment on something else that is probably more important than in your life that you didn't ask. It knows. It's like the sage. It's like your higher self. And you can, you can think about synchronicity all day long. Freud, if you wanna really get into this synchronicity concept, read Freud's introduction. The main book, the books that I just showed you, are ones that are different interpretations, but the original interpretation is the Wilhelm version. It's a yellow book, and it's thick like a Bible, and that's the one that has the commentary from Carl Jung and Confucius. So you'd want to have that book in your library anyway. It's available on Amazon still. I'm going to see if I can get a little bit more light going here. Let me see what I can do here, because we're getting changes going on in the desert here today. Okay. We're getting a bunch of clouds moving in and out. For the last, I'd say, for the last week, okay, it's been freezing ass cold here. I think I'm going to start getting a little light here. Let's work on it and see what we can do. It's been freezing ass cold here. There's been snow on the mountains. It's been beautiful. I have been doing a lot of walking, except for the days when it's freezing ass cold, blowing snow, wind, whatever, rain. I just had some friends here from the coast. They enjoyed it thoroughly. Some members of the CAMPFIRE Council. And like I said before, I'm going to be doing videos now on things that I used to do them on. The indigenous lifestyle of different tribes, different meditations, breathing techniques, although I've done a whole shitload of those, and they're in the archives. But I'll be doing some reviewing on that. I have been thoroughly enjoying getting back into practicing my yoga. Been doing the asanas and the Tai Chi and some walking every morning. And yes, I'm still riding my motorcycle. So life is good. The weather here has been changing radically, but it's beautiful. I get snow on the mountains, like I said before. The pass gets snowed in up here. Those are the days I don't ride my motorcycle. Some intrepid motorcyclists would put me down and say, you should be out there riding on all days, man. No, I ride when I'm comfortable. I don't enjoy being in pain when I'm riding my motorcycle, okay? Sorry, the light's getting a little dark here. What can I say? I'm about at the end of this video anyway. But I just wanted to make a video in the new year. And yeah, I said that I'm going to back off of the commentary on the world affairs. But I'm glad that the Trump inauguration is over with, and that went okay, despite all the cuckoo idiots out there that are doing their thing. Most of them purchased protesters by people like George Soros, and there is a battle going on right now between the elite New World Order type people and some outsider that thinks he's going to change things. I'm hoping for the best, but I'm not going to dwell on that. Let's just dwell on withdrawing from all the negativity in the world. And the I-Ching, throwing the I-Ching will really give you help when you start having to deal with some of the negativity in the world, because it'll give you a different perspective. It'll give you hope. The I-Ching is like, I kind of liken it to, it's like talking to the creator, okay? It's like talking, I'm fiddling with the curtain here because the clouds are going in and out. I'm ambidextrous, by the way. I'm a drummer, so, I can fiddle with this and still talk. There we go. Yeah, the I-Ching is something that you'll want to consult, if not once a week, sometimes every day or every other day, to get instructions on where you should go. The I-Ching, I didn't really touch on this, but originally the way they read the solid and broken lines was like they'd throw a turtle shell into the fire. The ancient Chinese shaman. And whichever way it cracked, that's how they would interpret. They'd see the cracks on the turtle shell, and they'd get a hexagram off that. And then the other way you can get a hexagram is with yarrow stalks, where you hold a bunch of yarrow stalks and you pick certain ones out, and then you take those and pick other ones out. It's a whole different procedure than the coins. Purists of the I-Ching would say the only way to do it is with the yarrow stalks. I disagree. It's perfectly acceptable to use 3 coins because it's quicker and random numbers show up, which is exactly what you need. And I also have reverence for the I-Ching. I keep my coins in this little Chinese pouch here, embroidered. I've had that for many years. It is from China, and it has a little zipper on it. And you would want to keep your coins in something like this, just because you want to show reverence for the oracle, okay? And the oracle is referred to as the sage, or as the master, or as the master of the universe. And again, or the creative force of the universe. And again, this is all based on synchronicity, or what's happening in the moment. At the particular time that you're throwing the coins, it's almost like coincidence, okay? Only it's synchronicity. But coincidence or synchronicity is closely aligned. So it's coincidental that you would throw those 6 lines for your hexagram, but it's as you're throwing them, it's experiencing your energy, your vibrations, your thought patterns, and what is being displayed before you is nothing more than you seeking to bypass your lower self and go to the higher self, okay? And again, if you think that you have questions about it, well, Carl Jung, the greatest philosopher and psychologist, one of them on earth, We'll tell you exactly what he thinks, okay, of it if you get that. I think it's the Wilhelm. I'm trying to remember both names, Baines or something like that. Uh, I should know that. It's horrible that I'm drawing a blank on that. But the Wilhelm version of the I-Ching, uh, which is again a yellow book that is as thick as the Bible and has the commentary in there. So I guess I'll leave it at that today. I think I covered everything. Um, I hope I didn't leave anything out. I hope that I explained it well enough. In fact, I'll review this video before I put it out. Anyway, until I make another video, I guess that's all for now. Over and out.